Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions podcast with Brent Bailey. And at the tech booth, Jody Cook-Bailey and Luke Cardiel. We are growing our circles of connections and knowledge together with encouraging conversations and positive communications. And now, Brent Bailey.
Happy Monday after the Super Bowl, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Here in the Central Florida area, we're still recovering from the Super Bowl last night, and wow, what a game. It is, you know, when we get to the national days today just happens to be National Football Hangover Day, and I'm sure we're all there with me. Joined over at the booth right now by Jody and by Luke, and guys, it's another Monday, and I know that this is always the time that everybody likes to. No, I shouldn't say likes. Everybody has to kind of get back into the swing of things and get back into gear.
It's not the weekend anymore.
No, definitely not. And so
it's been a busy weekend too.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you what foods did you have last night? What were you eating?
Wings is a staple.
It usually is, yeah. It's actually number one.
Chips
and
salsa.
And cheese dip.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Made some cheese, beer cheese soup last night. So anyway, I let us know in the comments below, what was your favorite meal during the Super Bowl last night?
Or snack.
Right. I mean, it's like a bunch of snacks that turn into.
I really wanted some. I really wanted some Keith Neighbor bratwursts, but didn't really get to do that.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Period?
No, on the Super Bowl.
Oh, on the Super Bowl.
No, not period. You'd probably give me a list of,
longer than my arm.
All right. Let me pull out the scroll.
Yeah, I think in recent years, my favorite thing has become soup. I really like to eat soup on the Super Bowl. So.
Yep.
Anyway,
it's good stuff. Yeah.
So I hope you're progressing and recovering and back into the swing of things. We have got a great show for you today. I have author of a brand new book entitled "Lead Like a Woman." Deborah Pegeus is with us today, and I'm telling you, you are in for a treat.
You're gonna want to take out your notepad.
Go ahead and get it started right now.
Yeah, and share this.
Yes, click that share button down below.
You should always be sharing it.
That's right.
But, you do not want to miss out, and you don't want
definitely
your friends
do not want to miss out.
Great.
So, speaking of food, you guys, a couple things that I thought was really kind of cool. Taco Bell has rolled out a $5 build your own cravings box. So for $5 you can pick any of the three of their normal menu items, and stick them in, whatever three you want, and a drink for $5.
Yeah.
In these uncertain times right now, it's great.
That is great.
It's awesome.
Great price.
Pick all the carbs you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what would your 3 favorites be?
I haven't really been going to Taco Bell that much recently.
You have to have somebody buy it for you.
Yeah. Usually it's like crunchy taco. Let's see. I like bean cheese burritos, a classic, and Crunchwrap Supreme. I mean, those are the 3 things.
The thing that I have always said about Taco Bell. Taco Bell is the best thing for a budgeted person to eat on. You can have change in your ashtray. Or cup holder. I guess it's cup holders now. They don't have ashtrays in cars anymore.
Yeah, no,
in your cup holders, and you can go through and get at least a taco or something. And I used to tell youth ministry students when I was a youth pastor and teaching other youth pastors how to do it, the best place you can go meet kids is at Taco Bell, because Friday, Saturday, 9:30, 10 o'clock before they go home, they swing through there and empty out their cup holders.
Isn't that crazy to think that people used to smoke in their cars? That's crazy.
Now they vape in it.
Yeah, but think
as you drive up and they roll down the window and this whoosh comes out the side. It's like, oh my God, the car's on fire. So
can you imagine a cigarette right there and then the whole car's just full of smoke?
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's something else pretty cool. McDonald's has unveiled that the Shamrock Shake has returned.
It has.
Until we get to, yep. So your favorite green minty milkshake is back.
I've never had that.
It's pretty good.
Really?
Not bad.
Okay.
I mean, their milkshakes aren't great anyway, but you know.
Who makes your favorite milkshake?
Let's start down that.
I'd say himself.
I do make a good milkshake. I really do. But I would say if I'm going to go somewhere, there is a place in Coal Grove, Ohio. There used to be one in my hometown, but they tore it down. The only one left is in Coal Grove, Ohio. It's called L&J's, and they make a peanut butter milkshake that is just
so good, right?
Okay.
So, Jody, what's going on around the country today? It's National Days today.
National Iowa Day.
Oh, of course, it's Monday.
Yes.
So we got to talk about the Hawkeyes today and the state that votes first in every election. The caucuses are held there, and corn.
Corn, a great, I wanted to say planter, farmer. Lots
it is.
Corn.
So
there.
happy Iowa Day. It's also Boy Scout Day, right?
It is Boy Scout Day, and the Boy Scouts started in 1910.
Wow.
Yeah, and so if were you guys Boy
girls
Scouts
can be a Boy Scout?
I was not.
I didn't think you were.
The girls, it's co-ed now, right? Boy Scouts is co-ed now.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
I always thought the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts were the same organization, but they are not.
And they're not.
They're not.
No, because I don't think the Boy Scouts sell cookies.
Well, but I just thought
Boy
that
Scout
it was
cookies.
they were the same organization and it just had different, but they're not even the same corporation or anything. So
Yeah.
Boy Scouts sold cookies, they'd be covered in like dirt and sand.
always be prepared.
You know what? It is
That's
a great
the Cub
organization
Scout and Boy
because
Scouts honor.
it does. It helps boys as they're growing up to be prepared. The things that they teach, but also to be respectful and generous and really respecting.
And you got to earn all those patches of things that you can do. It really does help you to become a couple things. Of course, we would be remiss if we did not talk about this. It is Black History Month.
Yes.
And that's, it's so fitting that we have Deborah on today. Deborah is an African American, but she is not just labeled to being a woman or to blame even a black woman.
Right.
Deborah is a leader amongst leaders, and so we're going to get to her in a little bit. But
Really
a couple of people that we do want to talk about today in Black History Month. Most people don't know that the 3D television was invented by an African American young lady named Valerie Thomas in 1980.
Yep.
That's pretty
Why
cool.
did they wait so long to get it into our hands, though?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. What was Sony and all those companies doing? Holding on to that.
Yeah.
She had invented that in 1980, got the patent on it, and so she is. And then the other one we were going to talk about is the lady who invented the spatula, right?
Yes.
Are we going to throw pictures up?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Anna M.
Mangan
is an African woman who invented the pastry fork or a spatula in 1891.
I believe she was like 15 when she did it.
Yeah, look
or
how
something
young
like
she
that.
looks.
Yeah, look at that high quality picture.
I mean, it was the 1800s.
That's
so
true. It's
let's show a
amazing we
picture.
even got a picture.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about her picture. I was talking about the pixelated version that we got up there. So,
Oh, here's Valerie.
all right, and there she is.
So they both
The coolest hairstyle ever.
The coolest. Absolutely.
They both created and invented just absolutely just unbelievable
Stuff that we are enjoying immensely today.
Yes. So definitely things that we all use.
I like metal spatulas more than
You
the plastic.
do.
The plastic
If you
ones
can't
just
find
push
I
it
need to
around.
buy like 18 of them.
I mean, when you go to use a plastic one and you try and get underneath something, it just pushes it around, squashes it up.
Yeah.
But the metal ones, you can just get right under it and flip it over.
No, the spatula is definitely like an amazing invention.
It is, absolutely. Well, that's what's going on around the country today. And right now, let's get into our guest, Deborah Pegeus, Pege, and let's expand your search. Our guest today is a return guest. We've been around long enough now that we're starting to bring back some of our favorites. Deborah is a global speaker and best-selling author. She's authored over 18 transformative books. She has over 2 million of those books have gone around the world. She is a certified public accountant, has an MBA. She is a certified John Maxwell leadership coach and a Bible teacher. She is a frequent guest on major radio, TV, and other media platforms. Of course, she's been a guest on here before. She is a former MCA and Universal Studios vice president. She's an astute businesswoman, has played the key role in several news-making transactions, including the development of financial projections for the startup and wildly successful Magic Johnson theater chain. She and her husband, Darnell, live in Southern California. They've been married for over 41 years, and now she has written a brand new book. It's called Lead Like a Woman. Talk about relevant. Please welcome to the program today, as a return guest, Deborah Pegeus. Hi, Deborah. So good to have you back.
Fred. Thank you so much for having me.
How have you been doing since we saw you last?
Just exhilarated with all the things that are going on in the world of women.
Yes. It's such, I was telling you right there before we went on that this is such a relevant topic. I'm so excited to talk about it today. It's a great topic to have. So part of your story is moving from being a Southern maid, which there's all kinds of images that go through your head when you think of that. But you become a successful corporate executive, then a businesswoman, and now a best-selling author. So how did you get motivated and stay motivated to go through such a journey?
Well, two things. I was valedictorian of my high school, and you'd have to understand, having grown up in the South, what a big deal that was. That was in 1968, 4 years after the Civil Rights Act of 1964, when they integrated the schools. So I had some momentum going forward, and I just wanted to really represent the race, because a win for me was a win for the race. And but I also started studying the Bible at about 7th grade and started to memorize scriptures, and I knew that the sky was the limit based on the scriptures, and I was anxious to test that. Yeah.
Wow, that's, I mean, such a tremendous, powerful testimony. 1968, that was some very turbulent times in our country, and it's very similar, I guess, in where we are right now. And so now, not only are we seeing some of the attention that's long overdue to the racial side of things, but now we're also crossing the barrier to the sexes. And your book, Lead Like a Woman, is so awesome. You talk about 12 inherent traits that women generally possess, and it makes them strong leaders. So what are a couple of them that you could share without giving everything away in the book?
Well, it's okay, because I'm really excited about that. When I start to study the Bible and saw that in the Garden of Eden, God told Adam and Eve to go and populate the earth and to subdue it and all of that. He gave them the commission. So it's about men and women working together. And so, but somehow or another, over the course of time, it looks like we relegated leadership to just men. But in the book, I talk about these 12 traits. And one of the ones that we are just most commonly known for is being collaborators. I mean, that's the thing now. Collaboration is the new competition. And women are natural collaborators. We love teamwork. We believe that together we all accomplish more. So being a collaborator. And here's the deal. I'm teaching people that when you bring these traits to the table, you have to manage them, because you have to embrace them as primarily feminine traits, but they work. But they work if you don't mismanage them. So you can take one to the extreme, stop collaborating, and start not even making a decision until you have all consensus, and that's a bad thing. So also, we are nurturers. We know how to nurture people's personal development, and people are more engaged. All of the studies show that when you have a woman on board, on the board, or you have a woman in leadership in a corporation, their profits are about 15% higher than companies that don't. Yeah. So it's good. It's good for the company. It's good for the country when we put women in leadership. But those are a couple of things we do. We nurture, we collaborate, and of course we're intuitive. So, we got that sixth sense that says, this is the route we should take. So we can just nurture all of that. We can bring that to the table. Here's my deal. Bring your full womanhood to the table, unapologetically. We don't have to manage like men. We can work with men, and we certainly don't want to bash them. We have the mandate together. And so that's my soapbox now.
and that's so great to hear that, because there are some folks that have actually feared that, because I know there's a lot of talk about, getting rid of the masculine side of things, but to hear, a strong woman such as yourself talk about the both gifts together working the way they're supposed to work is really how God created it to be.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? And if we find anybody going contrary to that, you're just going to have conflict and these sexual wars, and you just don't have to do that. God set up the plan. Let's just follow the plan. I love it. I love working with men, and I interviewed several men for the book to get their feedback. I want to make sure it didn't sound like male bashing at all. So we're on board with the men.
Amen. That's so awesome. You also talk about 12 tendencies in the book that women have that kind of sometimes when they engage wrong, it sabotages their progress. What are some of those?
Well, women, when they've done the studies, when they do all the competencies of leadership, women excel men in like 8 of the 10, 5 to 1 they do. Now, what is that about, though? Except in the area of confidence. So we're going to have to learn to walk in more confidence. I love talking about confidence because I believe that I walk in supreme confidence. I hate that whole concept of self-confidence because it really limits what you do. And so a lot of women don't have the courage to step out beyond their competency. You see, we're more competent than we ever needed to be. We want to make sure that things are right before we even step out and try it. So we got to step back and look at this thing in us that says, maybe I don't deserve to be out front. And I see a lot of women are apologetic about it. I don't want to run anything. Listen, if I'm in charge, I'm running it.
Come on now, that's great.
But I'm going to run it in a cooperative, collaborative
Sure.
way. Yeah. And so I want women to really understand this whole concept of confidence. Don't limit your activities. Don't limit your pursuits to your education and your experience, because that's not good. Because when you do that, you're depending on self. But I tell you, Pastor Brent, I have just stepped out in many areas where I didn't even know I could write a book, and I've written 18 books now. I thought I'm an accountant by trade. I thought I could do spreadsheets and financial statements. But you know what? When I showed up at my computer and say, God, what you got? He just began to download. And so I'm really excited about this concept of stepping outside of your comfort zone, doing something you don't really feel like you're good at, and just see what happens.
All right. Now, let me just ask you this, because I hear you talking about being confident in some of that and those things, and I'm in wholehearted agreement with you. To me, whoever's in charge, woman, man, it doesn't matter. You need to really be confident in that. But there's some folks that struggle with that, achieving that kind of confidence. I know that there's always something in the back of everybody's head, am I doing this right? But how do you bridge the gap to get over that, to where, okay, I'm a little bit, kind of concerned I'm going to do everything right, to getting to the point where you have that supreme confidence? What's the gap filler?
The key is your belief. You see, everything is based on a belief system, all of our behavior. So when you believe and know that you are connected to a God who knows everything.
Come on.
He knows everything. He's all powerful, and he's always present. There's a fish called the remora, and it attaches itself to the underbelly of a shark, and it feeds on what comes out of the shark's mouth. And I have a picture of one of them, but you just see it going through the ocean, not afraid of anything, because it's connected to something very powerful. So when you know that, you show up with that kind of a mindset that no matter what, God's going to feed me what I need when I need it. And so I don't worry about failure. Even if it doesn't come out the way I expected it, I didn't fail. I just learned. And I also learned to depend on God. I have so many situations where God just showed up on the spot. And so I'm real good at this. When I say good at this, I'm real good at having no confidence. I don't want self-confidence. The Bible says he who trusts in self is a fool.
Good.
That's Proverbs 28:26. I want everybody to get that. So when I show up with that kind of a mindset, that's the beginning. And so that kind of belief leads me to step out, because I'm not stepping out in my own strength.
So good. That is so good. I love the phrasing there. I don't want self-confidence, because then I'm believing in my ability. I know that in my own personal time, I have always run into my limitations. It's my limitations that really hinder everything, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is. I was in a meeting once. They had called me over to a corporate office of a very big company where I was a fairly high-ranking executive, and they asked me questions I didn't know the answer to. But I just sat there and said, okay, God, you're on. My mentor used to say, you're not on the spot. You're just standing in the spot where God's going to use you. And so he reveals with such clarity what I was supposed to say. At the end of the meeting, the man, I will never forget this, he leaned forward in his chair and he said, where did you learn all of that? And I wanted to say, right now, right here.
That is so true.
Yeah, it is. And so that's my expectation now. This God's going to reveal what I need to know. Adequacy doesn't come from us. It flows through us. I like to say that,
that's so
because
good.
that is a scripture. It's 2 Corinthians 3:5. Not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think of anything as being from ourselves, but our adequacy is from God. And when I feel most inadequate, I just kind of do like this. I said, adequacy is flowing through me. It doesn't emanate from me.
Oh my goodness. What?
Yeah.
That is, if you're watching at home or listening to us on your phone or your device right now, that right there was a bomb of truth. That right there, you need to get that. It doesn't have to come from you, it flows through you. That is so excellent, Deborah. All right, you believe that seeing yourself as a victim when bad things happen is detrimental to your success. How do you stay motivated and maintain this positive attitude when you're surrounded by, it's a male-dominated world? What have you done? You've been discriminated against. You've seen people, overlook your opinions and treat you wrong. How have you stayed positive through all these things like this?
Well, I'm stuck on Romans 8:28. I have it seared into my mind. Everything works together for my good. Now, I'm not just saying that. And my husband, he said, you do believe that. He told me the other day, you do believe that. No matter what, if it's working together for my good, I'm looking for the good. I'm like that little boy they took in a room. They had two boys. I would tell this story very quickly. But one was a pessimist, one was an optimist. And they took them and let them see some toys in a room. The pessimist said, oh, I'll probably break them and they'll all be, inoperable like within a week or two. And the other little boy, they took him to a room full of manure. What a crude example. But he just immediately dove in and just started looking, just started searching. And they said, what are you doing? He said, well, I know there's got to be a pony under there somewhere. I am always looking for the pony.
Yes.
Amidst the poop and the stuff that you have to encounter, I'm always looking for the pony because it's in there.
He is in there. That's true. All right. Yeah. So as I'm a male leader, I do have, besides my wife, I have other ladies that are in leadership in our ministry. How can male leaders and influencers help female leaders to feel welcome and respected? What can they do?
They can do just that. They can welcome them. They can get rid of the stereotypes that are probably speaking very loudly in their heads when they interact with a woman, especially a woman in leadership or a woman who's over them. And so you have to understand that it's God's will for us to work together. And so you encourage us and give us very specific feedback. A lot of times men don't give women feedback because they don't know how we're going to respond. They think we're going to be so emotional. And a lot of times we are, but that's one of the things I tell women. Listen to the feedback. It's not personal. If you don't get something you want, say, hey, help me out. Tell me exactly what I need to do to get to that next level. And so we need men to do that. Don't tiptoe through the tulips with us. Just make sure that you give us good, honest feedback and that you listen to us. Don't discount our input.
I got to tell you what, folks, this right here, I can't wait to get a copy of this book because this is powerful, paradigm shifting stuff that our world is in desperate need of. Deborah, before we let you go today, just speak a word of encouragement to especially the ladies that are watching today, but to the men too, of how to move forward.
First of all, I wanted to say that leadership is influence, ladies. You don't have to have delegated authority or an official position to make a difference in the world. If you don't believe that, read 2 Samuel 20. It's about a wise woman who saved her city just using her wisdom. And so listen, step out there, influence your community, and don't let anybody else tell you what you should be. If you decide your realm of influence is only your family, that's good. Don't apologize for that. Be a leader. Be good at it.
So good. Deborah, we cannot thank you enough for coming and being on the program. I was watching my wife and she was writing feverishly while you were talking and taking notes during this today. Thank you so much. The book is entitled Lead Like a Woman, and we're going to put some information up on the screen right now if you'd like to get a copy of that. There's a copy of the book right there. I believe you can get it on Deborah's website. You can also, I'm sure, is it available on Amazon as well, Deborah?
It's available everywhere books are sold. Amazon, all over.
Everywhere books are sold. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, probably every one of those kind of online bookstores, you can pick up a copy of that. Here's her website address, DeborahPegeus.com. She's also on Instagram and Facebook at Deborah Smith Pegeus, and on Twitter at Deborah Pegeus. Folks, she's worth the follow. You want to get involved and see every good thing that she has to say. Deborah, thank you so much for being with us today. Until next time, we hope that you come back and be with us for your next big project.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, let's stop for directions. As Deborah was talking, I could not help but see the powerful leader that is sitting right in front of us. And really, in my experience, I've had the pleasure of serving with, alongside of, and actually in departments lower than some very strong female leaders. My mom is that way. I had the pleasure of working for Lynette Hagen. She was that way. It is something that is refreshing to see women really rising into the roles that I believe God's created them to be in from the very beginning. You know, Paul actually kind of spoke along these lines when he wrote Galatians in chapter 3, verse number 28. He says, "There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. There is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus." And what was he saying by that? Of course, there are differences in the people. A male is different from a female. A Jew is different from a Greek. There have been in our society slaves and free. It's not that those don't exist, but what he's saying by that is there is no reason to treat one another differently. And in a book like this, it's so refreshing to hear and empower women to rise up and be the strong leaders that God created them to be. And the great part about it is men, we don't have to stop being men. We don't have to stop being masculine. We don't have to stop doing what we always do. We should just be doing our part to recognize the gift in the women around us. Your spouse, your coworker, your siblings, your parents, those ladies in your life have so much to offer and so much to give. And it's time for us to recognize that. And let's work together to make this world an even better place and do it the way that God intended. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. I'm so grateful to Jody and Luke for another great show. I want to thank Deborah Pegeus for coming on and dropping truth bombs amongst us today. It was so great. Make sure you tune in again. We've got more great programs in the pipeline for you. It's going to be a great day. I hope you found what you were looking for as you took the time to expand your search and stop for directions. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @ExpandingYourSearch on Facebook and Instagram and @ExpandingSearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We are available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some time today to expand your search and stop for directions.